The biggest challenge in providing our products in Asia is managing last mile, managing domestic connectivity, stripping down the infrastructure that we support into its most basic, simple element. When we apply that design philosophy to the area of network infrastructure, that means keeping things at the optical level, right? So what is referred to as DWDM. That technology is more mature in some markets than others. It is rapidly being invested in some of the more growth economies. The challenges that it provides for a service provider is managing an end-to-end service availability, an end-to-end performance commitment. And where you have disparate technologies, that becomes increasingly difficult. The challenges of the tyranny of distance. You know, if we look at investment firms today, they've evolved their trading strategies to now be more arbitrage, so it's multiple asset classes across multiple geographies and across different venues, and dealing with the fact that there are submarine assets, subsea cable assets that having to join these venues together is non-trivial. To deal with that, also many of these assets are becoming middle-aged. Some of them 10 years, a decade plus. So they're coming up for planned maintenance. And as these planned maintenance events become an interruption to a trading day, how are the firms and equally how are the service providers managing that risk? Preemptively, and how are they working very closely with their client to make sure that their client's always on the fastest route. If we look at Japan and if we look at the rest of the Pacific Rim countries, it is true to say that Asia has more tectonic, seismic activity than pretty much any other region in the world. It's also a region in the world where it's predicted that GDP growth is going to be 7.5% for the next 2.5 years or so. Heavily traded exchanges, and dealing with not only the tectonic plates, but the shallow water landing points, the shipping lanes, the circumstances that could disrupt a client's service. It's important for their infrastructure strategy to hedge risk by having all of the options available to them. And of course that becomes pretty intimidating too. For an investment firm to take positions in every cable system that is available across Asia is not a trivial task. And then to make it work as one single service end to end is equally as complex. So the role of the service provider then becomes hedging that risk on behalf of your client. Buying deterministic pieces of glass that lie on the floor, the bed of the sea, and managing that service end to end. So when you do lose a cable system, and you do, you jump on the second fastest, the third fastest, the fourth fastest, and where the standard deviation of that latency may vary 1 to 2 milliseconds up to tens of milliseconds, you're equally transparent with your client, and you're understanding whether that variance in latency is okay to support their trading strategy. Where it is not, perhaps there will be circumstances where you would mutually agree to let the service go dark.